I tried to get into project management, but Reddit discouraged me. It's like project management. Anyway, anyway, before starting my gap year, I already knew that I was going into data analysis, but I wanted further research, so I entered into the rabbit hole of day in the life videos and forums, career forums, and Reddit particularly scarred me. They made it look like every single person in project management is suffering. Actually, they made it look like it's the most boring job on earth. So I decided to focus on my data analysis. But since it's a gap year, I have time. So more time means time to explore, right? And explore I did. Oh, hi, by the way, you're welcome to another diary entry in my gap year series. And today, courtesy of my gap year, I have been experimenting with different career paths and going to share some of my recommendations with you. So get cozy. I'll just jump right into it. I think the first path I tried out was UX writing and research. Shortly into my gap year, I stumbled on a 6 week program to help ladies get into UX writing, UX design, and UX research. So I picked the UX writing and research track and jumped right into it. I think it was hosted by Ladies in UX. If I'm correct, you can go check them out on Instagram. And might I just take this moment to say I love when ladies teach. I like the guys. Guys are also good teachers, but there's just something about the way women teach. So intentional, so detailed, so calm and patient with the whole process. I don't know. I don't know if it's just the ladies or the track itself, the UX writing track, but they did a good job. This is a career path. If I did not already choose data analysis, it is one that I would willingly jump into because it was very, very interesting. Now, think of UX writing as a cross between product design and copywriting. Yes, because it's a form. In fact, they call it micro copies. Okay, an example of UX writing is when you open your bank app, for instance, or any app for that matter, and you see those little words, welcome, Cynthia, or the error message you get when a transaction fails, or stuff like that. It is UX writers that write those micro copies. After learning the whole process, I realized that those words you see on those apps, for instance, are not there by accident. They are written in such a way to guide the user through the process and pass hopefully meaningful communication to the user. Another example of UX writing, for instance, is manuals. And many people think technical writers do instructional manuals, but some people actually use UX writers because they know how to break things down simply. Now, if you are detailed and you love research and love writing, but you do not want to go fully into product design for any reason, maybe you are like me and you feel like you don't have any design bone in your body, then I would highly recommend UX writing and UX research. Honestly, another reason why I like it is because it's not restrictive. You are not restricted to one industry, every product, every service could use a UX writer or UX researcher. Do you get? This is for people who do not want to go fully into product design because, like I said, you feel like, for me, that's the only reason why I didn't go into product design. I'm too practical. Like I just want to go straight to the point. I don't have time for arrange this, do that. Mm-mm. Or I'll probably just splash pink everywhere. If you are like me, UX writing and UX research is a very nice field to go into. Overall, I'll rate UX research maybe 8 over 10 from my little experience with it. It comes across as very interesting. I like the fact that it is non-restrictive. I do not want any role that will restrict you to a certain industry or to a certain job type. No, this one actually, and there's fluidity. You can easily move from UX writing into UX research, into product design, and so on and so forth. Even into copywriting, you can come from other fields into it. I'll rate it a solid 8 over 10. And the only caveat is the ladies, why they were teaching us, they told us to get ready for a fight because many people, for instance, regard the product designers above the UX writers or the UX researchers. So you find that sometimes they will try to bring you in at the end of the product, when they've already made the product. Meanwhile, you're supposed to be a part of the whole development. Sometimes the prototype will be out, and that's when they remember, oh, they need a UX writer. And then you come and start fighting with the team. That's the only caveat. But overall, from my experience, UX writing, UX research, solid. Now, the second thing I tried was environmental work. And to be honest, I was actually doing this alongside the UX research. Now, why environmental work? Well, I have a background in environmental sciences in both my BSc and my master's. I have both my BSc and master's in environmental sciences. I mean, it's only natural that can fit into that space. And to be honest, I actually liked it. I was one of those people who wanted to do medicine, but were given environmental sciences. But in my own case, thankfully, I fell in love with the course. Like I said, naturally, I decided to explore that and I joined the fellowship. Now, this fellowship, well, I didn't finish. Let's just put it that way because I got bored. Actually, there are two main reasons why I did not finish the fellowship. Number one is that I found a lot of the things very elementary. And that's because, like I said, this is my background. In that fellowship, you had people who were non-environmental scientists who wanted to get into environmental advocacy and stuff like that. But I found a lot of the things they were doing too elementary. And then the second thing is that I found that somewhere along the line that I didn't want to go into full-time environmental, let me say sciences. Okay, let me explain this. It's not that I don't like environmentalism or environmental sciences or environmental studies. It's more like I want to do a hybrid of it because I found out that, like I said, I'm going to get very, very bored if I just focus on environmentalism and all of that. So I am more of a hybrid person. In fact, what interests me is hybrid roles, like where you're a bit of this and a bit of that. That's my happy place. I found that along the line that I'll prefer something like environmental sciences, the intersection of environmental sciences and maybe finance, or environmental sciences and technology, environmental sciences and design. Yes, those are my kind of roles. And I'm going to take it a step further by advising, especially younger people. Anything environmentalism these days seems to be the craze. But I would say this, don't fall for it. Yes, don't buy into that hype of being an activist. Don't let anybody label you an environmental activist. And that's because in the rooms where these decisions are made, I insist that there are not enough young people there. And you will not get in there simply on the back of advocacy. There are few activists here, I know. But if you are just doing protests, placards, and all those things, as someone who actually studied this, I would say that even sometimes I've seen activists fight over things they do not understand. And I'm not going to go into details. Point I'm trying to make is if you're a young person planning to go into environmental studies or environmentalism or whatever, anything relating to environment, I would say come in as an expert, study the stuff, or import your existing knowledge, then come in at the intersection, the hybrid, look for a hybrid there and come in. That's a much better option. I'm telling you this because as time goes on, especially with the rise of AI, everybody knows what AI is, the potential harm that AI has on the economy, especially when you think about these data centers and all of that. You will need more informed people of those space. Protest alone would not just cut it. When you get into those rooms, you need to be speaking as someone who truly knows their stuff. A lot of activists, I'm sure they do a lot of studies, but for the young people, especially a lot of young people that I've met who want to go into environmentalism, they are still getting their information off Google and random articles. And all those things are nice, it's good to read, but it's completely different from being a subject matter expert. I want you guys to be subject matter experts. And don't be afraid to import your existing skills. The intersections are really, really nice. And I cannot wait for young people to start seeing young people who are the intersection of environment and finance, environment and fashion, environment. Mix those things. Yes, the hybrid roles are there. They're available. Explore them and make good use of them in environmentalism. We need more young people at the decision making table. And don't fight me for this, but as far as I'm concerned, we need more experts than activists. I'm sorry, but that's just me. Or maybe I'm getting the definition of activism wrong, but that's just me. Then the third thing, oh, it's getting more bitter. Now, the third career path that I went into is data analysis, and that's where I currently am now. So I joined this online bootcamp, and frankly, it was very helpful. And this is where I would say, please, if you are trying to learn a new skill, do not learn in isolation. I would have given up a lot of times if not that I had this structured learning track, and I didn't want to be one of those who dropped out of the race. So it kept me going. Do not learn in isolation. Join a community. Joining a community really, really helped me in my data analysis journey. And right now, I am currently going into customer experience analysis, CS analytics. And that's because I have existing banking experience. The video is somewhere here. I have existing banking experience and I don't mind importing that into analysis. It actually makes perfect sense. And that's one of the things I like about data analysis is another part that is non-restrictive. You can work in any industry, you can work in any sector because everyone could use a data analyst. Anyone who uses data could use the services of a data analyst. 10 over 10, highly recommend you going into data analysis. So far in data analysis, God, Power BI has been the bane of my existence. And that's because of DAX. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. If you know something, if you know a magical way I can learn DAX, please help a sister out. DAX is kicking my butt. Although I'm getting the hang of it. And that's where practice makes perfect. But you know what? Don't mind me. I think I'm being very, very impatient. But yeah, and so far I enjoy SQL the most. I know I ran away from SQL for so long. And now that I'm in data analysis, I love SQL. Like I prefer SQL over Excel, over every other thing. It is what it is. So if you come into data analysis with an open mind, maybe you're scared of the coding part, trust me, nothing is difficult. It just depends on your mindset and your willingness to keep pushing even when the learning gets boring. And it will get boring. Anyway, that's all for now. I will catch you in my next diary section. Please do not forget to like and share this video and subscribe for more career and gap year content like this. Because trust me, you're gonna love it here. You see, after I'm done with this gap year diary, I'm not bragging, but your career game is going to change. Your life will not remain the same. Take what I'm saying to the bank. All right, bye.